bottoms down, chair yoga for everyone. I'm Carol. I'm so glad you've joined us today. So today is day 11 of our 28-day chair yoga journey, and we're going to start seated. We'll move into standing for a sun salutation series. If you like the experience, click that subscribe button. It's free, and leave a comment. Let's get started. So we're going to sit up nice and tall in our chair, right? Moving forward. We've done this one many times now. It's just that moment that we have, right, to focus on that mind and that body and the breath. So we're going to ground our feet to the earth, thinking about having both feet on the floor equally weighted. And then the same thing with those sits bones, right? We have those grounded to the chair. We're not leaning one way or the other. We're going to lift our heart up, lower those shoulders out of the ears. Place the hands lightly on the thighs. Flip those palms up to the ceiling. We're going to close our eyes and then just begin to notice your natural breath, right? So just that natural inhalation and exhalation. We're going to move that breath down into the diaphragm. So we move from that shoulder breath to that belly breath. So we're going to inhale, filling the lungs from the bottom up. That belly will extend. And exhale, pull the belly button in, actively pushing the air up and out of the lungs. So do that again. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale and exhale. Let's breathe normally. Now we're going to continue with our diaphragmatic breath, and we're going to inhale to 4 counts and exhale to 5. So it'll be something like this. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe normally. Bring your hands to your heart. Set your intentions for today's practice. Just one more breath here. Bring your hands back down to your thighs and open your eyes. Let's look over that right shoulder. And let's center. And let's look over that left shoulder. And center. We're going to do that one more time, okay? So as you look over that right shoulder, don't move the head further. I want you to just move the eyes, just the gaze a little bit further. And face center, and let's do the other side. So it's just a little gaze, continuing with that gaze. One more breath here, and face forward. Excellent work. We're going to bring our hands down by our side and do our shoulder shrugs. So our shoulders are shrugging up into our ears, and then we're going to just let them fall. Let gravity help there. Shrug them up. And fall. One more time. Shrug them up. And just let them fall. Good work. Okay, so we're going to drop our right ear towards our right shoulder. Now I'm just going to lift my right hand and I'm going to place it lightly on my head. And I'm just going to feel a little extra stretch there because of the weight of that hand. One more breath. Let's bring our hand down, bring the head up. Now I'm going to tuck my chin. And I'm going to reach up with my hands just lightly. They're going to just lay on the back of my head as my elbows are towards the floor. And they're giving a little bit, so with the weight of the arms and a little bit of gravity, you should feel a little more stretch into the back of that neck. Remove the hands first and then lift the head up. And let's go to the other side. So hang out here for just a moment, right? Feeling the stretch. And then we're going to reach up with the hand and we're just going to lay it lightly on that head. Just feeling the nice stretch into the shoulder. I said the shoulder. It's really the neck, isn't it? Well, that's where I feel it anyway. One more breath. Bring the hand off of the head first, and then we're going to lift that head up. Now, all I want you to do is just lift your head up. So just a little bit of openness through the throat, right? Just a nice little stretch there. One more breath, and face forward. Okay, very good. We're going to move into mountain pose. I know you're like, okay, well, we do mountain pose a lot, but it's just a great one to warm up. It's just a really good one. So yes, we're doing mountain pose again. Let's come down. So spread those fingers. See how that feels, right? Stretching out that hand, those fingers. Coming into goalpost arms. Now we release the finger stretch when we move into those goalpost arms or goddess arms. I'm squeezing my shoulder blades back behind. Fingertips to the ceiling. All right. Nice long hands up, shoulders are down. One more breath. Let's release it. We're going to do that again. Mountain pose. We've got this. Goalpost arms. Squeeze those shoulder blades back behind you. Belly tight. Lengthening those hands to the ceiling. Shoulders stay down. Think about, can you lengthen any more through that spine, right? Can you stretch any more? One more breath and bring those arms down. So that one looks like you're just hanging out with your hands in the air, but it's a very active pose. Do you feel that, right? If you really work at lengthening through and just trying to lengthen that spine, it's a very active pose. We're going to move into our cow pose and cat pose. Again, I know we do them a lot, but it's just a really good way to warm up that spine. So we're going to do it by grabbing the back of the chair and lifting up through the chest, squeezing those shoulder blades back behind you. So I'm going to look up just slightly. I'm opening up through that throat. My belly is tight. Abdominals engaged. All right, are we ready? Let's round down into that cat pose. Hands to the thighs, tuck the chin, looking down at my lap. Make sure you're letting your head fall. So I'm not holding my head up, right? I'm letting that head fall, really tucking that chin. Let's do that again and we'll add the breath. Let's inhale into our cow pose, grabbing the back of the chair if that feels okay, and then exhale into your cat pose. Again. Inhale into cow and exhale into cat. Inhale into cow and exhale into cat. Last time. Let's do it. Make it count. Really feel that stretch. Exhale, down we go. And release. Okay, so we're going to come into goalpost arms, right? So we've done this one before. We know with pretty good idea of where our arms are going to be in this goalpost series. Squeeze those shoulder blades back behind you. So we're going to do a little twist. So I'm going to take my left arm and I'm going to bring it all the way across to my right hand. Hello, right? Notice that my legs and my hips are still forward. So the action is happening right at the ribs. And then I'm going to open that up. And then I'm going to bring that other arm across. And open it up. So don't bring the right arm forward. Make the left arm come all the way back. And open. Let's do that again. Remember, the arm comes across. Don't bring that opposite arm forward. And center. Let's do it one more time each way. Are you feeling that movement right in the rib cage? I am. I think I'm feeling some pose that we did yesterday or the day before. I got a little tightness in my side waist. It feels good though. One more breath and release. Don't you like it when you actually feel something in those muscles? And it's like, I think I must have worked those a little bit. I like that myself. Okay, so we did this warrior series yesterday and we're going to do it again, but we're going to build just a little bit on it, okay? So we're going to add just a couple of things to it, but let's start just like we did yesterday. So we're going to take this knee and we're going to open it, right? So our legs are at that 90 degrees. We're going to bring those arms up for that warrior two pose. Okay, so my ribs are right in the center. My head, neck, and spine are all right in alignment. Let's look over those right fingertips. We're going to flip the right palm up to the ceiling, and we're going to take that palm up, and we're going to hold the chair back behind us as we reverse our warrior. Now we're going to come back to that warrior two, and then the right arm is going to rest on that right thigh, palm facing up. Now the hand that's in the air, let's place it on our waist and lift the heart. See how I kind of just lifted? And then we're going to extend that arm. Beautiful. And let's press back up into that warrior two. And down we go. And let's do the other side just like that. So we've done this one, we kind of know it, but then we'll do the little add-on, okay? So remember, you don't ever have to add on, right? Ever, ever, ever. If this feels better for you, you're going to stay with this version. And it's a great version. Love this version. All right, we're going to look over our left fingertips now. Are you in alignment? Did you check in, right? Making sure. Let's flip that palm up. Up we go, all the way to the ceiling, trying to touch the ceiling. Then we're going to reverse that warrior. So I'm looking up if that feels okay on your neck. And then we're going to come back down to that warrior two. And I'm squeezing the muscles against the bones in my arms. My upper body is very active here. And then I'm going to release, and I'm going to face forward. Okay, so here's the next little add-on. And I'm saying little, and I don't mean it seems simple, but it's a pretty significant stretch, additional stretch for those legs. Oh, you know what we didn't do on that side was the side angle. I'll catch it next time. I forgot. It's okay. I'll catch it next time. I was so excited about the add-on. Okay, let's come forward in our chair. All right, so I'm forward. Now, I'm going to take this knee. I'm not going to go all the way to the 90 degrees, okay? So I'm just going to do a heel toe and a heel toe. So now it's at this diagonal, okay? Now the other leg is going to extend. I know. How does that feel, right? So here's a couple of things I want you to think about. First thing is, see how I'm up on the side of that foot? So I'm not pointing my toe so that I'm got the toes out. My foot is flexed, basically, and I'm up on the edge of that foot. Do you see what's going on there? So what does that do? It changes where the stretch is happening. Now I'm getting outer and inner thigh stretch. Do you feel that? So here's the other thing. If you want to bend the knee a little bit, so what will happen in my in-person classes is people will start getting cramps right up in here, and I get that. So just bend the knee a little bit, and it's fine, okay? All right, are we feeling like we've got that and we're kind of stable on the chair? So now I'm going to just go ahead and straighten my leg because it works for me to keep my leg pretty straight. I'm feeling quite a bit of stretch on the inner and outer thigh. We're going to bring our arms up. Oh yeah, here's a warrior two. We've got this. I'm going to look over my right fingertips and I'm going to flip the right palm to the ceiling. I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to try to touch the ceiling. My left hand is going to come down to the chair for a little support. I'm lengthening up. I'm trying to touch that ceiling. Then I'm going to come past the midpoint of the body, and there's my reverse warrior. I'm looking up if that feels okay on the neck. Look out if that feels better. Okay, so from here we're going to move to side angle pose. I'm not going to forget this time. Here we go. Warrior two first. And now I'm going to put the fleshy part of that arm, my right arm, on the fleshy part of that right leg. My palm is facing up, and I'm lengthening up. You see how open my chest is, right? So I got my wrist, my shoulder, and are all in alignment here. So I'm not letting myself collapse. You've got to really use your abdominals here to make this happen. So this looks like, if anybody were watching us do this pose, they would think, whatever. Okay, you sit down and do this pose, right? See what it takes to be in this position and hold the form and everything, right? All right, are we ready? Here we come back up to warrior two. Let's reverse it again. We got this. Back to that warrior two. Squeeze the muscles against the bones in the arms. Remember, if I come and tried to pull your arm down, I couldn't. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and release. Are you ready to bring that leg in? Right? I know. Oh, take a moment. Whew. It's quite a stretch, but it's a good one. Okay, I told you it was an add-on. All right, here we go. Let's take this knee. We're going to do a heel toe and a heel toe. So remember, we've got this angle right here. Opposite leg extends out. Now, here's the other thing. You might find this side is like, oh my gosh, this one is so much more willing than the other side. Very common, right? Very, very common. So remember, be up on the edge of the foot if you can. That's better. So we're working the outer thigh here. That's kind of a target area for this particular series. You can bend that knee a little bit if you need to. Okay, are we ready? Let's add those arms. Let's flip that palm up and back, reversing our warrior. Oh my goodness, you feel that? I do. Let's come back to our warrior two. I'm not going to forget this time. Okay, fleshy part of that left arm comes to the fleshy part of the left leg. Palm is facing up. So we're going to look up just a little bit if that feels okay, or look out. But what I do want you to have is that chest is open. I know, I feel it. Feel that stretch, right? We have one more breath here in our side angle pose. And up we go into that warrior two. And let's reverse it one more time. Oh yeah. And back to that warrior two. Squeeze, 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 and release. Oh boy. Ha! Okay, we're going to come to standing now. And we're going to be beside our chair. And we're going to do a standing sun salutation. We've done that seated, and now we're going to do it in a standing position, okay? So what I encourage you to do is move forward just a little bit, because we're going to be making a circle with our arms, and what you don't want to do is hit the back of your chair, right? Does that make sense? You've got it here. If you need to hang on to it, you can, but I encourage you to move forward just a little bit so we can make that big swan dive. Okay, so we're going to reverse swan dive first. So we're going to bring those arms out. Palms are facing up. We're going to come to our mountain pose. Palms are together overhead, and then we're going to bring our hands to our heart. Really pull your belly in here. We're going to keep that belly button to spine nice. Engaged abdominals. Now we're back to mountain pose, and we're just going to bring our arms around, and we're just going to make that circle again and bring our hands to heart. Okay, I just want you to feel that a couple of times before we add on. Ready? Let's do that again. Palms face up, all the way to mountain pose. Bring your hands to your heart, and then we're going to come back up, and we're going to make a big circle with those arms, and we're going to come back to heart. Now we're going to add the breath. Inhale as we come up to that mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm following my hands with my gaze. If that feels okay, you can do that too. Inhale up, exhale, big circle around, and bring our hands to our heart. Okay, so now what we're going to add is, instead of just making the circle, we're going to dive forward, all right? So you're diving at the hips, not at the waist. Belly stays tight to protect your back. Ready? Here we go. Big circle. Inhale up, mountain pose. Exhale, bring hands to heart. Now listen, inhale, we go up. Exhale, we're going to dive forward. All right? Now we're going to place our hands on our thighs, and we're going to extend our head long. So head is forward and seat is back. This is considered our halfway lift here. All right? Extending nice and long through the spine. One more breath. We're going to bend our knees, and we're going to just roll it up nice and slow. Okay, bring your hands to heart. We're going to do that just like that again. Inhale, up we go. Mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Now, if I don't cue the breath, you can add that yoga breath if you want. Inhale up. Exhale, dive it forward. Hands to those thighs, extending nice and long into that halfway lift. If you want to just breathe normally, that's fine too. Bend the knees. Roll it up. Hands to heart. We're going to add a forward fold in. Up we go. Hands to heart. Back up we go. We're going to dive forward. Use your belly here. Hands on thighs for a halfway lift. Now, from here, I'm just going to let my heart begin to fall a little bit forward. My hands are still on my thighs for some support. There's a little bit of stretch for those hamstrings. Let the head fall if that feels okay. You can hold the chair. Bend the knees. Roll it up. and bring your hands to your heart. So I want to check in just a minute before we continue. If that's making you dizzy, you're not going to let your head fall so far, right? So maybe you're here at your halfway lift and you just let your head fall a little bit for that forward fold, keeping your head above the heart. That's fine. If it feels okay and you want to let that head fall a little bit further, that's fine too. But I don't want you to feel like you have to do that if it makes you dizzy or if it's just uncomfortable, okay? You don't have to. Let's do that again. Hands to heart. We've only got one more add-on. Here we go. Up to mountain pose. Let's bring our hands to heart. We're going to come back up to mountain pose. We're going to dive it forward, belly button to spine. There we are. Halfway lift. Hands on thighs. Extend nice and long. Forward fold. You've still got your hands on those thighs for support. Now, instead of rolling up, what we're going to do is we're going to reverse swan dive. So my arms are going to go back out. There's your back, right? Back is working hard. Up to mountain pose. Bring your hands to your heart. We're going to do that again. Up we go. Dive it forward. Belly button to spine. Hands on thighs. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, let that heart fall forward. Ha! Reverse swan dive up on an inhale. Mountain pose. Bring your hands to your heart. We're going to do that one more time. Up we go. Exhale, dive it forward. Ha! Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Reverse swan dive all the way back up to mountain pose and bring your hands to your heart. How did that feel? Was that good? I love sun salutation, right? Just get a little bit of movement going, get a little bit of flow. It's a little vinyasa flow, right? Kind of nice. And anyway, good movement. Okay, so now we are going to do that Warrior 2 series again. Remember we did it yesterday, so we're going to do this one again. So we're going to take our foot, we're going to place it under the chair. Remember, start with the one next to the back of the chair. That's the foot. Otherwise, when you turn, it's going to be very confusing, okay? It's like, what are we doing? So this is the leg, the left foot. And then we're going to take that step back, okay? Hips are forward. This is the start of a Warrior 1. We're not going to do that Warrior 1 yet. We'll do it, but for right now, we're just going to turn and move into that Warrior 2. So we're going to bend that front knee. And we're our hips are around, and we're in that Warrior 2 position. All right, let's look over those front fingertips. We're going to flip that palm up to the ceiling, and we're going to reverse our Warrior. So I'm looking up if that feels okay on your neck. You can always look out if that feels better. We're going to come back to that Warrior 2. Now that hand is just going to come down into the chair, and we're going to open up into that side angle pose. And let's go ahead and extend that side angle. Oh yeah, press up into that Warrior 2. Reverse our Warrior up and back. Back to Warrior 2. And step out of it. Okay, let's do the other side. So the leg next to the back of the chair is the one that's going to step under. This other leg is going to step back. Bend that front knee, bring the hips around first, okay? Now, we're just going to move into that Warrior 2. Where are your ribs, right? Peeking at the ribs, belly is tight. Looking over those front fingertips, let's flip the palm up and reverse that Warrior up and back. Now we're going to come to that Warrior 2 and go straight to side angle pose. Lifting up, right? Making sure those shoulders are in alignment with the wrist. Let's extend. There's that side waist. That may be why I'm feeling a little bit of my side waist from yesterday. Are we ready to press up into that Warrior 2? Let's reverse it one more time. Back to that Warrior 2. Squeeze the muscles against the bones in the arms. One more breath and release. Very good. Let's come back to seated. How did that feel? Good? Feel a little stretch happening? A little movement? I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so we're going to move into a crescent lunge. We're going to take our right knee and we're going to open it. And then we're going to let our left knee fall straight down towards the floor. Push that foot back a little bit, right? Up on those toes if that feels okay for you. Now I'm going to look over my front bent knee and I'm going to bring my arms up to goalpost arms. So I'm just squeezing my shoulder blades back behind me, and I'm looking up where the ceiling and the wall meet. One more breath here. Let's release that. We're going to do that again with one little add-on, okay? Back to goalpost arms. I'm straightening the back of this kneecap is up towards the ceiling. Now I'm going to take my hands to the ceiling. I'm going to inhale to prepare. Pull that belly in super tight, and I'm going to lean over that front leg. There's your back. You feel that stretch? One more breath here. Back up we go. Bring the hands down. Release and face forward. So if that doesn't feel good on your back, one thing you can do is keep the elbows bent. Okay, so if extending those arms long is too much for the back, then keep the elbows bent, and that's going to reduce the lever length, and it'll make it a little bit less stressful. Make sure you keep your belly tight. Let's do the other side. Are we ready? Okay, so that left knee is opening, right knee is falling down towards the mat. Push the foot back. Okay, so feel this first, lifting that heart. Now, let's go to goalpost arms, squeezing the shoulder blades back behind you, looking up slightly. Just one more breath here. Feel that stretch. Let's release that, okay? Now we're going to do that again with that little add-on, okay? So here we go. Little. It's not little, is it? It's a significant add-on. All right. It's goalpost arms. Squeeze those shoulder blades back behind you. You feel it? Here we go. Fingertips to the ceiling. Inhale here, belly tight. Extend those arms out over that mitten. There's the back. Pull that belly in. Bend those elbows if that feels better. One more breath. Hands to the ceiling. Oh yeah. And down we go. Go ahead and face forward. Let's sit back in our chair. Let's place our hands lightly on our thighs. Flipping the palms up to the ceiling, we're moving into Shavasana pose, our resting pose. Close the eyes. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out.
Pointing towards purpose. Delight in dreaming about what could be, but don't take permanent refuge in those unfulfilled dreams. Instead, start working your way to them little by little. Begin to transform those dreams and your actual reality. Give yourself credit for everything you've already been able to achieve. Then point that process of achievement directly at the dreams you long to reach. There is great value in moving towards something positive and desirable. Even if you are not fully committed or confident, you can go through the motions, and that has value too. You are at your best when you are pointing toward a meaningful purpose. That purpose will bring energy, resourcefulness, and determination to the surface. Go ahead, imagine the future in a positive way, and take a step in the direction of that future. Discover for yourself how a positive vision for the future can improve your experience of life right now.
Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Reach up with the right hand. Give the head a gentle tug as you press that opposite hand down towards the floor. Release it. Drop your chin towards your chest. Reach up with your hands. Give the head a gentle tug. Release it. Drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Reach up with your left hand. Give the head a gentle tug, pressing that right hand down towards the floor. Release it. Look up just slightly. Open your mouth if you want to stretch your jaw. Bring your hands to your heart. Honoring one another, we say Namaste. Very well done, my fellow bottoms downies. We've made it to the end of day 11. Let's just keep showing up and make sure that we come to our chair every day, right? Click the subscribe button, leave me a comment, and I'll see you tomorrow.